Rumored dates and constant delays are definitely a lot of trouble. Some games are getting release dates with somewhat shorter notices these days. Same can be said with delays, and to add to the mix, lack of communication amongst fans doesn't help out the positive cause. Now, rumors are just rumors, but the most recent one involving the upcoming AEW Fight Forever game clocks some eyebrows. What's going on? Why is it going on? Is this fixable? Just watch and hear my thoughts. So AEW, in my opinion, it is the better promotion amongst the biggest names next to WWE and Impact. Even though it only started 4 years ago, the success has only been growing. This can be credited due to some bigger veteran wrestlers getting involvement like Chris Jericho, CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes. This can also be credited by some commentators from the good old days joining in. You can also say Tony Khan gets his money investment through his father Shad Khan, who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that plays a role in his familiarity and success. It's a matter of time they have a console video game coming out, and we are close to its release, according to this recent article about its whereabouts. Reports are showing that AEW Fight Forever is having ESRB troubles, preventing the project from moving forward. Well, it's not really in a deadlock, but Yuke's and THQ Nordic are seemingly unhappy. Their aim was for AEW Fight Forever to be rated T. Even one of its latest trailers gave the game a T rating with a description. However, it seems that the ESRB has rated the game M twice. The game does show a moderate amount of blood with effects in its gameplay videos, and apparently articles imply that gore is seen too, but I honestly doubt that. Blood can definitely be seen in the brief footage of Dr. Rosa and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, with the thumbtacks being used. However, it's definitely not enough to render an M rating compared to blood shown in T-rated games like Uncharted, which may as well be M if one more pint is shown, but let's talk about that. There seems to be many games over the last 20 years that may have given some more confusing decisions of the ESRB as to what category some games should be classified. It's one of the reasons the E10 Plus rating was made, so that plenty of games appealing to the young audiences don't end up with a T rating. I can say that there are many gray areas made for both the T rating and the M rating. I mentioned Uncharted being a game that could be M if it was for another pint of blood. That might be an exaggeration. But let's move on. Another franchise worth mentioning is Batman Arkham. All but one were T rated, and in my opinion, rightfully so. But then Arkham Knight came in, and I'm still confused as to why, to this day, it is rated M. I understand the context of torture being shown, but I would say it was tame enough to be a T rating. The Halo franchise downgraded itself to a T rating recently, where it should have been from the beginning. The Flood was the excuse of it all for the first 3 games to be M rated. I don't understand any of the excuses made for Reach or Halo 4 for that matter. It's not exactly Mortal Kombat Fatality's level of disturbing. Here's what the ESRB said about both the T and the M ratings on their website. T rating. Content is generally suitable for ages 13 and up. May contain violence, suggestive themes, crude humor, minimal blood, simulated gambling, and or frequent use of strong language. The M rating may contain intense violence, blood and gore, and or strong language. So looking at those, do you believe the mentioned franchises are suitable for the M rating? If you ask me, I don't really think so. Granted, the blood in the games aren't exactly minimal to say the least, and it would be wrong to classify them on the same level as Mortal Kombat, God of War, and Resident Evil. There are some franchises I want to talk about that are M-rated, but also seems to be treated harshly, granting them the rating. One game I want to talk about is Persona, but that's namely Persona 5 in its entries. The blood is way more minimal than you see in Uncharted. Now, it does tackle on rough social subjects, suicide, pedophilia, you name it. However, the context of them are tame enough, not even shown on screen. Not to mention it's on the same level of language barrier as the Uncharted games. The Dead or Alive games are M-rated for its mature content, but there's no nudity or blood in it. Its context of skimpy outfits of female characters are comparable to Ivy's from Soul Calibur, which is a T-rated game that I'm gonna mention as well. So those games can be categorized as T rating because its contexts are definitely beyond suggested, but it's not necessarily M-rated material in my opinion. So let's go back to AEW Fight Forever, a game not released and is having problems getting a T rating approval, but getting pushed back multiple times. The ESRB doesn't seem to know what is even what anymore. They fixed a small issue in the 2000s with adding an E10 Plus rating. So why is there such a confusing gray area for T-rated and M-rated games? It's a bit of a clown show to put in games of completely different contexts in the same category. If I were to work for the ESRB right now and give the best solution, I believe a new category of rating to close the blurred lines between T and M should be suffice. Let's say we call it T15, just for the sake of the video. It would cause less trouble for developers, so that way they don't have to be forced to sacrifice their vision. Now, Fight Forever can still have its TV level of blood without worrying about an M rating, which can also affect sales, but more so affect the image of the brand. Halo could have had an even bigger audience during the times parents were superstitious about game ratings, more so than they are today. The Batman Arkham can still be viewed more friendly to the younger crowd without the M rating stigma. Now the brand is pretty much forced to stay within its mature tone. Overall, I think a new rating category can benefit both developers and consumers, especially if they have a vision in mind that they don't want to compromise or be put in a certain category. The M rating must have associated it around to be a semi-porn game, which is really just rack physics giving it that is the image to the public, nothing more than that. AEW, which does have a youth audience, no longer would need to be turned away if there was a new category between the T and M ratings. Look at the Europe's PEGI board. We have games rated 16 in Europe, but were M rated in the United States. Dead or Alive 5 and 6 were rated 16 in Europe, but M in the United States. You'll also have Persona 5 being rated 16 in Europe as well. So there's definitely a lot of wiggle room that we can do here in the United States. As far as movie rating goes, that's a topic for a different video. If you want that made, please like this video and subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell. What other games do you think has a blurred line between the T and the M rating that could have been saved by a new category? Let me know in the comments section below. I am the Ronin and thank you for watching this video. See you soon.